Have you ever felt like you're just a passenger when it comes to your own emotions? That they just happen to you? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the hidden engine of our inner world. We're talking about the two powerful forces, desire and imagination, that quietly shape every single feeling we experience. So let's just start with a moment of gratitude. It's an incredible gift, isn't it? This ability we have to look inward, to understand the very workings of our own minds. And that's exactly what we're here to do together. So, have you ever really stopped to wonder what's behind it all? What's really driving your feelings? That sudden switch, from feeling peaceful one moment to completely frustrated the next. It might feel random, but it's not. There's a powerful and surprisingly simple engine at work under the surface. So let's begin our journey by taking a look at that very engine. You might be surprised to find out that at its core, it runs on a really simple, almost predictable mechanism. Let's break it down. That whole mechanism, it's powered by just two things: desire and imagination. The best way to think about them is like the two poles of a magnet. They're constantly pulling your inner state in one of two directions, either towards positivity or towards negativity. The formula for how we feel is actually incredibly straightforward. When our desires are satisfied, we feel positive things: contentment, joy, peace. But when those exact same desires are not satisfied, we get pulled into negative states: anger, sadness, frustration. The desire itself isn't good or bad. It's neutral. It's just the engine. Okay, let's make this real with an example. Imagine a husband on his way home from work. His desire is simple. He's looking forward to a warm dinner his wife has made. But he walks in the door and the house is empty. No food. In that instant, his desire is unmet and his emotional state flips to negative. He starts to feel angry. Now, let's just change one little thing. Same husband, same desire for a warm dinner. But this time, he comes home and finds a loving note next to, say, a simple package of noodles. Now, his desire for a big fancy meal isn't met, but his deeper emotional desire for care, for connection, is met. And that is everything. His inner state immediately shifts to positive. He feels content. But see, desire is only half the story. Now we have to look at its incredibly powerful partner: imagination. And what we're about to see is how our imagination, when it's left to run wild, can actually become the primary source of our own suffering. Just think about this for a second. Our experience of the past, it doesn't exist anywhere except in our imagination. The same thing is true for all our worries about the future. Our psychological reality isn't what's actually happening, but what our mind imagines is happening. And this, right here, is at the heart of so much of our pain. We so rarely live in the present moment, do we? Instead, we use this powerful tool of imagination to go back in time and feel old hurts all over again. Or we launch ourselves into the future to worry about things that haven't even happened yet. This constant escape from the now, that is the root of our suffering. You know this is true. You can be sitting quietly in a perfectly safe, peaceful room. But if your imagination decides to replay an insult someone threw at you years ago, you feel it. That hot flash of anger, that knot in your stomach, it feels like it's happening right now. The event is long gone, but your imagination makes the suffering very, very real. Okay, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. What if the stories in our head, the ones that cause all this suffering, aren't even ours to begin with? What if our imagination can be infected by other people's thoughts, almost like a virus? Take a look at this real-life example. A woman starts a new business while raising her child. It's a ton of work, but she's happy, she's fulfilled. Then one day, a neighbor says to her, "Wow, your life is so hard. It's a pity to see you suffer like this." And for whatever reason, the woman lets that thought in. She installs it. And just like that, her entire reality changes. Suddenly, Her work feels like a terrible burden, and she starts to resent everything. And this is the most important part. Absolutely nothing in her life actually changed. The hours were the same, her child was the same, the work was the same. The only thing that changed was the story, the imagination she was telling herself. Her happiness vanished and was replaced by suffering, all because she downloaded someone else's idea of her reality. Now, this whole principle doesn't just shape what's going on inside of us. It's actually the very glue that holds our relationships together or pulls them apart. Let's talk about the invisible tie that binds. This is a fundamental truth about human connection. We only walk the same path with people, in a marriage, a business, a friendship, for as long as we share a common desire and a common imagination for where we're going. That shared picture of the future, that's the real bond. You see this all the time in marriages. In those early, struggling years, a couple is often rock solid. Why? Because they have a unified desire: build a life, buy a house, raise a family. But what happens when they achieve all that? If they don't consciously create a new shared vision, their individual desires can start pulling them in totally different directions. And that bond that felt so strong starts to fray. We think it's the piece of paper, the marriage certificate, that holds people together. But the truth is much deeper than that. The real contract is the unspoken, shared imagination of a life together. When that shared picture of the future starts to fade, the real bond is already broken, no matter what any document says. So, if these invisible forces are so powerful, how do we work with them? How can you and I consciously build relationships that actually last? That brings us to our final and most important section, the path to conscious connection. The answer is all about being intentional. First, you have to share your vision. You have to actively communicate what you desire and what kind of future you imagine. Second, you have to truly listen and understand their vision without trying to change it. And finally, and this is the magic, you have to consciously work to synchronize those visions, to weave them together into a new, shared path. And this isn't a one-and-done conversation. It's a constant process of realigning, again and again. So as we close, I want to leave you with one question to reflect on. Just take a quiet look at your own life, your feelings, your relationships, and ask yourself, what desire and what imagination is shaping my world right now? Understanding these forces is a journey, not a destination. It's a practice of awareness. If you'd like to continue exploring these deeper truths about how we work, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you for being here.